This video is going to talk about the car description page of the inventory program. So we click the inventory program, we enter a stock number. We know that the highest stock number is 7026. So let's enter 7027 and click enter a car. And here we see the car description page. So you can see that there's a bunch of tabs. We're going to talk about the first tab in this video and the subsequent tabs, each in their own video. This one allows you to enter a car into the inventory. First thing you need to know is what is the make. So I'm going to put in my own car, just as an example. It's a Volvo. You'll notice that there's a flyout here. This flyout looks at the first few letters that you type and tries to match it. If it does match it, you can either click on it or hit the tab key. All entries, for the most part, are finished with a tab key. Next, we're going to enter the model of the car. Here, this flyout is built on the fly from whatever is in your inventory for that particular make of car. In my case, there's a V70, so I'm clicking on that. The body style is a station wagon. I'm typing just the letter ST and the tab because we see we've selected station wagon. The color is gray, and you'll see that just typing GR gives us a gray thing. Hit the tab. There is no second color, so I'll stay with none. In addition to selecting something from the flyout, you can just type the entry in directly. If it's new, however, you have to do one more thing. And that is, as you can see to the right, you have to tell the system that you're not making a mistake, but you're actually typing in something new. To do that, type either the F8 key, or if that doesn't work, the insert key, or if that doesn't work, the question mark key. For some reason, different computers handle this different ways. This concept works for everything but the model. The model is built only from things that have already been entered into the system previously. The year is 11. For 2011. Anything above 50 will be a 1900 era car. Anything below 50 will presume to be a 2000 era car. And here we put in the VIN. For the purposes of this video, I'm just going to enter a fake VIN. This clearly is not a realistic VIN, but my program will check for a bunch of things in the VIN. The first thing is it 17 characters? If it's not 17 characters, then it gives you this error. In some cases, less than 17 characters is a valid VIN for boats and trailers, and for cars prior to 1980. Those are all a VIN less or more than 17 characters could be valid. But for all vehicles over 1980, then it must be 17 characters. So once we get to our 17 characters, you can see there's other errors that can come up. Digit 9 is interesting, and that is called the check digit. If you take all the other 16 digits of the VIN and run them through a really horrible mathematical formula, you should come up with digit 9. If you don't, then somehow the VIN is invalid. In this case, we of course just punched in random stuff, so we got an invalid VIN. The system checks to see if the year that you put in this case 2011, matches digit 10. And in this case it does not, because digit 10 would refer you to 1989. It also checks digit 2. Digit 2 should match the make in a table that I have internal to the program. In this case, again, it does not. One other error that I look for is putting in an I, O, or Q instead of a 1 or 0. Those I, O, and Q are illegal characters. The next field is the weight of the car. You can skip that if you want, but in Washington, the license fees are a function of the weight. And if you don't enter it, then DMV will enter anything they happen to think of, and it might not be in your best interest. The plate state really right now is only a choice of Washington or other. That's going to change one of these days because a lot of forms want to know where did the car come from. But for now, it's either Washington or not Washington. If it's in Idaho, it'll be Idaho or not Idaho. The plate number is no longer needed because in the past, the plate could stay on the car. But now the plate must be removed from the car in all circumstances when a dealer sells it, and so there's no need to put in the plate number. Same with the plate expiration date and the tab number. The title number you can put in if you want to know what the title number was of the title that came with the car. Miles is something that you need to put in. These are the miles that came in with the car when you bought it. They can be actual miles, or excess miles means you overdid the odometer, or not actual, which means the odometer is broken, or exempt, which means that your vehicle is over 10 years old. In our case, it's only 9 years old, so we're good. Well, if it is labeled as exempt, you can still put in the odometer reading, but all documents that get printed will have the word exempt instead of the actual miles. The date purchased can be entered by popping up this little calendar and selecting a date. We have title checkbox, means we have the title. If it's unchecked, you can put in a list here of where the title is. It's not uncommon for a title, especially from an auction, to take a couple of weeks to show up. The consignment box gets checked if this car is a consignment. The only thing that does is it prevents the data from going to QuickBooks if you are using QuickBooks as your accounting tool. In a consignment situation, the owner of the car may want to take the car back if it hasn't sold. You don't want to mess up your accounting system. Once the car is sold, then all that information will go into QuickBooks. The location code is interesting in that it was originally designed for dealers that have several lots, so you can say this car belongs on a particular lot, but it can be used for anything else. One dealer uses this to indicate for wholesalers that work with his license which wholesaler owns what car. The used checkbox is what we would generally do, but if for some reason you have a new vehicle, then uncheck it, and that'll mean it's a new vehicle. Pre-sale means you can stock the car in, but not make it available for sale. So it won't show up in the deal program or any inventory list or anything like that. This is useful when you bought a car, it needs a lot of mechanical work, and so you can't sell it, but you want to get it into the inventory and get that out of the way. The vehicle types are used for two things. One reason is, in Washington at least, there are a whole bunch of different dealer licenses, and this will tell you which dealer license to use. If you sell a boat, that's a different dealer license than a car. Secondly, in Washington, it's used to tell the system whether there is a sales tax offset, because sales tax offsets can only be done like for like, unlike Idaho, where you can drag in a dead horse as a trade-in, and that will work. And so finally, I'm going to print the buyer's guide because we have enough information already entered for that to be done. So I'm going to click the buyer's guide button. I'm going to select the printer. The buyer's guide requires you to make some selections. The default is as is. That's probably the one we're always going to use. Close it. So if we take a look at that, you can see here we have a buyer's guide. The vehicle name, make, and model is in here along with the stock number. This is our stock in number. We're selecting the as is, no dealer warranty, but you can change that to any of these other checkboxes with that pop-up screen that occurred. And on the second page, we can see that we have the dealer name, the address, and all that sort of thing. This can be printed duplex. If you check the duplex box when you're printing it so that you get one page on both sides. We can get to the next tab to continue on the stocking into the car by either selecting the tab 2 or going directly to the car cost tab. That will be the subject of the next video.